Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Holly and this is my very first Flosstube video. Gotta admit, I'm a little nervous. I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous. So what I thought I would do for my first video is I would do the get to know your needleworker tag, as well as show you briefly the whips that I'm working on. But I want to try and keep this somewhat short, kind of introduce myself to the community, and see where it goes. So this tag, the Get to Know Your Needleworker tag, I first saw it on Angela Stitches' channel. But I've seen it on multiple channels. The person that created it, I think her name was Nikki. I don't think she does videos anymore because I had trouble finding her channel. But I'm just going to get started. The first question is, where do you live? I live in New Jersey in the United States. I've been here for probably about 20 years. Grew up in Florida and Georgia. Lived in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Tampa, Orange Park. Yeah, I think that covers. Oh, Daytona for a brief period. And then I lived in Brunswick, Georgia as well. But I've been all over the country. Never been outside the country, unfortunately. I've always wanted to go to Australia and Europe, but it has not happened as of yet. But yeah, I've been all over the country. So yeah. All right, question 2 is, what do you do for a living? This is a long and very boring story, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I am a scan coordinator, also known as a retail integrity manager. Basically, I work in retail and I'm in charge of pricing. When you go to the shop, when you go to like a grocery store, department store, when you see something on a shelf, the price tag underneath it, it's my responsibility to make sure the pricing is correct, that everything has a tag, everything is signed, all that jazz. Not the most entertaining job in the world. It can be extremely stressful, but it's a job, and I'm grateful to have a job. I've been with the same company for 19 years now. Yeah, so that translates into Holly is old. Yeah, it was one of those situations where I find a lot of people, especially the people that work at my store, kind of fell into the job, never really expected it to be a career, and it kind of just happened. Yeah, so I've worked at a total of 3 stores in the 19 years. One store I worked at for 10 years. Then I went to a store that's very close to where I live. And then in order to get full time, I had to go to another store, which was about 35, 40 minutes away. And about a month ago, I was able to actually transfer back to the store that's 5 minutes from my house. So yeah, but it's a stressful job. It doesn't sound like it would be stressful, but it is. Yeah, so that's my exciting career. Okay, do you have any children? I do not have traditional children. However, the next question will cover my actual children. Do you have any pets? Yes, my fur babies. They are my children. And I'm sure as I go along, you will be seeing them and probably hearing them. We have 2 dogs and we have a cat. All of them are rescues. So I live in a house with my roommate. We will call him Roommate Tom. We've been living together for almost 6 years now. We're kind of like an old crotchety married couple. We bicker and fight and we get on each other's nerves. But, you know, he's like a brother to me. Been very good to me. And I say we get along about 70% of the time. He makes me laugh on a daily basis, which is very important. So anyway, when I moved in here, he had 2 dogs, Byron and Duke, who were beautiful, well-behaved, sweet, sweet animals. And we lost Duke first about maybe 3 years ago. And then last year, in the summer, beginning of June, we lost Byron. The day after Byron passed away, Roommate Tom was looking through Pet Finder and saw a picture of this dog that looked like a miniature version of Byron. And he took it as a sign that we were meant to have her. And we went to the Humane Society and we got her that day. She had just gotten there the day before. I'm sure that if we hadn't gone that day, she would have been gone. And her name is Sable. She is a Beagle Blue Heeler mix. And she was about 1 when we got her. Incredibly stubborn, incredibly wild and crazy and insane. She is not the most well-behaved dog, but she's adorable and very, very loving. And even when she's being bad, I love her to pieces. And then about a week after we got Sable, we saw this cat that was at PetSmart, who was at this rescue called Beacon Animal Rescue. And she had had kittens. She had been feral. She had been living behind a restaurant, and she had a very big cut over one of her eyes. And every time we would go to the PetSmart, she would be there. And it's like, why doesn't anybody want this beautiful cat? She's pure white cat, gorgeous. And we ended up getting her. I've never been a cat person, but I absolutely love this cat. She's completely won me over. I am the only person in the house, human or canine, that she likes. She has chosen me to be her person, and I feel very lucky that she has. And her name is Sophie, and she's wonderful. And then the following month, we went back to the Humane Society because we figured that Sable needed a playmate since the cat wanted no part of her shenanigans. And we ended up seeing this pitch black lab. I think he's mostly lab. He's got a very long, skinny body, so I know there's other stuff in him. All the way at the end of the corridor in the Humane Society. And his name is Archer, skin and bones, terrified, wasn't eating, very shy, jumped at every little noise. And he became part of our family, and now he's just as wild and crazy as Sable. They get along. They hit it off immediately. And so life is chaotic here because it's basically like having 3 toddlers. But I love it, and I love them, and they're my fur babies. And I'm sorry I talked so long about them, but yeah, like I said, you'll probably hear and see them as we go on with the videos, and I will also show you pictures and stuff if you are interested. So the next question, what are your other hobbies? Well, I'm a reader. I love reading. I've loved books my entire life. Over the last couple of years, I haven't really had as much time to read as I would like. And having said that, I am a very anxious person. If I don't have something to occupy my brain when I am not at work, I tend to overthink things and get myself, worried and about things that I have no control over. So I need something to sort of occupy myself at all times, or I go crazy. So about a year and a half ago, I guess, I got into diamond painting for a while and sort of dove in full force, got all the kits, got all the supplies, finished all the paintings. In fact, this right here is a diamond painting I finished. It's my favorite one that I've finished, the owls. And I did nothing but diamond paint for a long time and completely burned out on it. So, and it's actually through diamond painting that I discovered Flosstube. I had no idea that this existed until I started watching Danielle Stitcherista's channel. And it sort of reawakened my interest in cross-stitch because my mom had taught me to cross-stitch when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and she was big into crochet, but she also loved to cross-stitch. And I learned when I was a child. Didn't really click with me back then because I had other stuff to do. I was a precocious teenage girl. But watching all the Flosstubers has reawakened my love for arts and crafts, and it gave me the courage to dive into another hobby. And I haven't looked back since. So yes, I am a new stitcher. And I thought it would be interesting to start doing Flosstube videos while I'm still new at it to kind of see my journey as I get more and more confidence and do more and more projects. So I guess I've been doing cross stitch steadily now for about 3 months, which is nothing compared to the people who've been doing it for like 20, 30 years. But I love it. It has helped me so much with my anxiety. Besides books and cross stitch, that's pretty much it, because I spend a lot of time at work. A lot. Okay, next question. What is your favorite movie? My favorite movie of all time is called Harold and Maude. Came out in 1973. It's a very strange movie about an 18-year-old man who likes to go to funerals, and he meets a soon-to-be 80-year-old woman who also enjoys going to funerals, and sort of how their lives intersect. And it's a brilliant, beautiful, very underrated movie, and it's been my favorite pretty much since I was about 20 years old. And I'm not telling you how long ago that was. We just met, after all. Okay, what is your favorite TV show? I don't really watch that much TV anymore. I like This Is Us. Psych. I've seen every episode of Psych numerous times. Mystery Science Theater 3000. A lot of older shows. This Is Us is pretty much the only new show, and The Handmaid's Tale are pretty much the only new shows that I watch anymore. What is your favorite book? I have two favorite books. One is called The Devil of Nanking by Mo Hader, which is a very dark thriller book, and then Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. My favorite music, my favorite band is the 1975. They are a British sort of alternative rock and roll band, but I also love Panic at the Disco. A lot of bands that probably looking at me wouldn't think that I would like, but like 21 Pilots and Panic at the Disco. I also love like Bare Naked Ladies and The Killers and tons of other stuff that I can't seem to think of right now. What is the one word to best describe you? I really had a hard time trying to come up with something like this. I think it would be easier if you asked somebody who knew me, but then they might not say something nice. But the word that popped into my head that I guess fits is curious, because if I find something that piques my interest, I immediately want to know everything there is to know about it. With cross stitch, with diamond painting, which is why I went so crazy with that. With books, if I find a book or an author that I love, I try to find everything that I possibly can about the author. I try to find all of their other books, that kind of thing. That's just the type of personality that I have. I'm going to move on and show you the whips that I'm working on right now. I'm going to start with the first one I'm not really working on right now. I'm taking a break. But I still love it, and I am going to finish it. Eventually, I will get back to it. And this is by one of my favorite designers, and it's by the Witchy Stitcher. Love her. I could get every single pattern she has on her Etsy store. I think she's amazing. And hang on. I still have the needle. I took it off of the Q-snap, but I still have the needle attached to it. Okay. Oh, that's... All right. So, it is, I just call it Demonade. And the words on it is, when life gives you demons, make Demonade. And this is, as far as I've gotten, I have had a really hard time with this fabric. It is a 14 count Aida, and I don't know if it's because it's dark or if it's because I was used to working on some really cheap Aida on my other projects, but I've just had a lot of issues. This N about killed me. I think I frogged the this line of the N about 5 times. I don't know. It feels like the stitches aren't symmetrical to me, and it looks wonky. But I love it. I love the pattern. I love the colors, and I am going to get back to it. So let me fix the needle so I don't have to worry about the puppies stepping on my needle. Okay, so my next one is the only Sal that I am currently in. It is Frosted Pumpkin Sal, the Animal Almanac. And This is the January square. And you know what? I love it. I really do. But it's a lot more detailed than I was anticipating. For some reason, looking at their stuff on their website, I didn't think it was going to be that detailed. I thought I would be able to get like bang it out in a few hours. And I still haven't finished it. But I like it. And look how cute she is. Oh my goodness. Where am I? I don't even know where I am. Look how cute she is. Penguins are my favorite animal, so of course I had to take part in this. So I am using the suggested, I actually got the kit from them, so I have the suggested fabric and floss, and I love the little needle minder that came with it, or didn't come with it, but I ordered it. So I haven't worked on this in a few days. And this is the first time I'm actually using scroll rods, and I like it. The only thing that I don't like the fact that you don't get very much tension in the middle. Even with these little nifty things that I got off of Etsy, I'm not getting very much tension. I like things to be very tight. It's still stitching up well. It's just taking a bit of getting used to. Okay. This one is also one that I was working on that I've sort of taken a break on, but when I pulled it out today, actually looking at it, it made me really want to get it back out and start stitching it again. And this is from Stone Street Stitchers. I believe that's the name of the shop on Etsy. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it's a sampler. I call it the book house. But this is, whoop, get it straight. Oh my God. The orientation leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah. So I really like this fabric. It's plain old oatmeal Aida. But on the outside, there's trees that are made up of books. My only problem is that I'm using the suggested floss, and the color of the pages is this whitish color that's really not showing up on this fabric. And that's part of the reason why I haven't been stitching on it a lot. Because I tried white, and the white's not really working. This color that is called for is also not working. So I might have to pull out some other colors and see if I can figure it out. Because it's the same color as this, but because it's surrounded by the blue, it pops more than it does on the books, which I don't understand. So if you guys have any suggestions or tips, by all means, I'm a newbie, and I'm here for any suggestions that you guys may have. So there you go. I enjoy stitching it. It's just I was getting frustrated because you couldn't really see the colors. So yeah. But I really like it, and I haven't worked on it for a couple weeks. I should probably pull it out. But I've been obsessed with these next two whips. So, okay, so this one. This is the first one that I became like gonzo obsessed. And I didn't take it completely off the Q-snap because it's a pain in the ass. Pain in the butt, sorry. Pain in the butt to get it back on, so I only took it off two sides just so you could see what I'm doing. And it is the giant Harry Potter pattern from Cloud's Factory. And it's on Aida. And hopefully you'll be able to see this. I am obviously working on the, look at Hedwig down there. I was so proud of myself when I finished that. Well, I'm not finished, but I finished that Pages version of Hedwig. Yeah, you can't see me. It'll get better, I promise. I promise it'll get better. Obviously, I'm working on the border. But I absolutely love this pattern. The only complaint I have is the fact that I constantly have to move the Q-snap. And like I said, it's a pain in the butt to try and move it because this fabric is just, it's not the best. But it was the biggest piece that I could find in a color that would work. Yeah, but look at Hedwig. Look. Oh my God. Where am I at? There you go. I hate that everything is backwards. So I'm obsessed with doing this, and this is about, I guess I've been working on this for probably about 2 weeks, so not too bad. And look at the needle minder. That's both my dogs. Yeah, so I'm obsessed with this. Yeah. Okay. Now, this next one, I absolutely love. And this is the one that I am working on the most. It just came. I don't know about you guys. Do you prefer to work on a printed pattern, or do you prefer like PDFs? For me, I prefer PDFs. I use the GoodNotes app, and I just find it easier to have it on my my iPad because you can zoom it, and I find it easier to mark off what I've done. Having said that, I fell in love with this pattern when I saw it on Stitching Shadows channel, and I knew I had to get it, even though it was pricey. It was pricey for me, and I'm a girl on a budget. I'm a crafty girl on a budget, but I had to have it, and I got it, and I'm in love, people. I'm in love. I'm sure this is not something that is unfamiliar to most people on Flosstube. Halloween at Hawkern Hollow. I have to say I was incredibly intimidated. You know, the Harry Potter is huge, but it's simple. You know, it's simple. This is huge and not so simple. But after posting on a couple of the boards that I belong to on Facebook, everybody's, was very encouraging, saying just take each block as a finish. And that's what I'm going to try and do. And another reason I was intimidated, I will get the angle down on this camera. I'm used to making videos on my phone, but I thought it would be easier to do it on my computer for the first time. Not so much. Anyway, another reason I was intimidated was because I knew if I was going to do this one, I wanted to venture away from Ada, and I actually got a piece of fabric, which is 28 count Lugana. It's mushroom, and it's my very first attempt at working with anything other than Ada, so that was also intimidating. But like I said, I had to have it, and I started it a few days ago. You guys. Ignore the lopsided Q-snap and the hair clips holding the massive amounts of extra fabric. Oh, okay, so it doesn't look like a lot of progress, I understand. I, myself, am just extremely proud of the fact that I was able to do the border and that it lined up, because I was completely confused as to how to do the whole 2/2 thing. And I was convinced I was going to screw it up, but I didn't. It lined up. So I was so proud of myself. And I love this fabric. It's really easy to stitch on. It's really easy to see the holes. My eyes are not that great. So I love it. I love it so much. So, and that's my favorite needle minder that I have. Adorable. Anyway, so this is the one that I've been obsessively working on over the last couple of days. And I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. So yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much it, you guys. Those are my whips. I don't have, like I said, I'm a newbie. I don't have like the 30 whips that some of you guys have that I'm in awe of. I thought having like 4 was too many. Obviously not, because I watched a video by somebody the other day who had like 65 going. I'm like, how the hell do you keep track of it all? Kudos, you're a rock star. But anyway, yeah, so first Flosstube video. I didn't make too much of a mess of it. Hopefully I wasn't too scatterbrained, but like I said, it is my plan to do videos weekly to show you updates on my whips, any haul that I might have. In my next video, I will show you some of my stash and my finishes. I just thought it would be simpler to try and just show you what I was working on now. So thank you guys so much for watching and for giving a new Flosstuber a chance. I'd really, really appreciate any comments and suggestions. And if you like what you see, please subscribe and leave me a comment. I love getting comments and love meeting new flossy friends. So thank you so, so, so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. I will talk with you later. Happy stitching, you guys!